Hello, everybody. This is AKA Heather Joy, and you have boarded the lifeboat. Before I get started, let me run through the rules we have here really quickly. The first one, please, this isn't a political channel. Please don't discuss politics in the live chat in the comment section. We'll leave that to Tommy. Number two, please respect one another's religious beliefs. This isn't a religious channel. It's fine to say, I'm going to pray for you, or statements like I couldn't have found sobriety without my faith. Those are all fine, but please don't shove your religion down someone else's throat. The third one, please refrain from cursing, from swearing in the comment section and the live chat both. As Tommy always says, if you can't control your mouth, you can't control your life. And the fourth one, no trolls. There's just no room on this boat for mean people at all. And if you would do me a favor, please do all these nice little things, Go exit out of the live chat right now and give that like button just a little love tap. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, let me pull up who is here. Goosebump and Charlie, of course, and Lemmy. Miss V's here. Harrison S. Now that's a new name for me. Welcome. Matt's here. Tommy Bird's here. Mark, Andrew Demarest is here. Mind Games and Rick. And I think that's all so far. All right. Good to have you guys here. I am upstairs today. We have a visitor. I don't know if you can see her. Kind of blends into the blanket. One of our kids, he and his wife were able to get this little lady. She's 11 weeks now, little German Shepherd, little female. She's AKC registered. They've got the breeding rights, the whole thing. So it's a nice thing, except that they're selling their condo and looking for a house. So guess who gets to babysit and train? And I never agreed to this. She's cute, yeah, but I'm too old for this nonsense. Oh, well, I just keep telling myself it's for my grandsons. It's their dog. And all little boys need to grow up with a dog, at least one, So it'll all work out. Anyway. Wait, Barela said something. You cut your by an hour? Wow! Iron Man, you go for it. I'm terrified of swimming in water I can't see through. I won't be doing any Iron Man. Anyway, Cherry Bakewell. Now you have to be from the UK. You got to be from the UK. Good Thursday, TNCK. Good morning, you guys. Anybody from the States, you probably don't know what cherry bakewells are, but they are nice. They're good if you get them fresh. I've ordered a few through Amazon that have come and they weren't fresh, and I just tossed them. Anyway, good to see you guys. Yeah, I took a break, and it's nice to be back. Yes. Oh, and before I forget, I did pin the link. If any of you guys are having a difficult time right now and you want to jump on, or if you have a comment or something to add, please use that link, and I should hear and see you come on. And yeah, sometimes it usually it works, but sometimes it doesn't. We've had issues, but anyway. Today I want to talk about emotional resilience. And if you looked at the thumbnail, you saw the little hen and chick succulents. I don't know how many of you have ever played with succulents, but it's hard to kill a succulent. I have dumped them on the ground and they've fallen in pieces, and I've still been able to get them to grow. If you give them too much water, they will send out little shooters, and They'll try to find new places to grow. If they're not getting enough water, if they're outside somewhere and they're not getting enough water, they'll send out little shooters and they'll try to find places for more water. These are really resilient little things, and I thought that was appropriate for what I wanted to talk about today. I just think, you know what? I've seen people lose it right and left, even in this little farming community where I live. I've seen stress is getting to people, the inflation's getting to people, not being able to afford the things you need. It's all getting to people. And now more than ever, we need some resilience. We really, really do. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I found this um, article from Time Magazine. This is clear back from 2016. But I was really impressed with it the first time that I saw it. And it took me a while to dig this one up. I couldn't remember what it was called, but I had remembered reading it, a long time ago. And it's by these, the name of the guy that wrote the article, his name's Eric Barker, but he refers a lot to these two gentlemen. Let's see, their names are Steve Southwick and Dennis Charney, and they studied resilience in people for like 20 years. They talked to POWs from Vietnam. They talked to men in the special forces. They talked to civilians too. People that have been through some really, really difficult things. Medical problems, abuse, trauma, you name it. They studied this stuff, and they wrote this book called Resilience, the Science of Mastering Life's Greatest Challenges. And the guy that's written this article in Time Magazine, he takes a lot from their book, but this is such good information. I was really, really impressed with this. I mean, I was impressed with it enough that I remembered it all these years later, and I had to go digging for it. But I did find it, so that's what I wanted to talk about today. We just, like I said, it's something I think we all can use right now is, you know, we need to be tougher, mentally tougher. And there are specific things you can do to help that a little bit, and the more mentally tough we are, the easier it's going to be to face the challenges that a lot of us are facing now. I mean, I don't know how anybody is exempt from everything that's going on right now. In fact, ever since 2020, nobody's been exempt from some really difficult situations. And yeah, so anyway. I think I wonder when these guys, when 2020 hit, the guys that wrote the book that this guy refers to over and over again, I wonder I wonder what they thought when 2020 hit, because wow, it really hit too, didn't it? And things really haven't been straightened out since then. But oh well, we'll get through it. Anyway, the guy that wrote this article, he's come up with what he felt are the 10 most important things that he read in this book that I just mentioned. This Resilience, the Science of Mastering Life's Greatest Challenges. And the first one, I love it. The very first one is to be optimistic. That's not always easy, and I tell you what, I've been finding that. Oh boy, that's been a challenge lately, to be optimistic with everything going on in my life. It's not been easy. So I think if anybody needs this, I need this, especially with this. Oh, she's asleep. This little puppy is driving me crazy. Oh boy. Anyway, the first one, like I said, is to be optimistic. It is important to always try to look on the bright side. Oh, great. Now I'm going to start singing Monty Python songs. Yeah, I won't do that or we'll get a copyright strike, but I sure want to. But, I'm not talking about the Pollyanna style rose-colored glasses delusional type of optimism. That's not what I'm talking about at all. Truly resilient people, they, oh, great. Sorry, this ad just jumped into my notes. How did that happen? That's weird. Okay. Anyway, um, people that are really resilient, they can survive in the harshest situations and still be able to accomplish goals. And take, for instance, in the book, it talks a lot about POWs and special forces units, because what they really are taught in special forces training is to have a positive outlook, but have a realistic view of the world. And there's a little section of the book I want to read to you right here that talks about this. And it says, like pessimists, realistic optimists pay close attention to negative information that is relevant to the problems they face. So there's I think that's key right there. They pay attention to the information that's relevant to the problems they face. But that's where it stops. Okay. However, unlike pessimists, they do not remain focused on the negative. They tend to disengage rapidly from problems that appear to be unresolvable. That's really important right there. It's really important to look at your surroundings and take stock of the things that you do have control over and the things you don't have control over. The things that you don't have control over, you need to let go of. You need to, toss those aside. Work on the things that you can have an impact on, that you do have control over. And let's see. Anyway, let me finish reading this. It says, that is, they know when to cut their losses and turn their attention to problems that they believe they can solve. So just like I was explaining. Now, POWs and special forces soldiers, they aren't the only ones that know this. There, in this book, they refer to a lady named, let's see. Oh, wait, no, this can't be a woman. This has got to be a guy. Lawrence, sorry, Gonzalez. He studies the survivors of life-threatening scenarios and found the same thing, that there was this balance of being positive with realism. You've got to have a good balance there. And I think that's important, but how do you do that? That's nice, but how do you really do that? That it's really important to be positive, yes, but your optimism is going to be tested. And so I dug a little deeper, and I pulled up something that was talking about ways of being more optimistic. The first point that the article that I had dug up talks a lot about how people that are optimistic, they have a longer life and have better health. And let's see, the other thing that it showed in the research that this other article that I pulled up talked about was that practicing optimism went right along with practicing gratitude. That was really, really important. And that if you could do that, if you could be positive, have a positive outlook and be grateful for the things that you have or the things that you can do, or just practicing gratitude every day, it really increased happiness. So I mean, there's a key right there. And it talks about how in the Army they teach soldiers to be optimistic. I mean, they actually teach them that because it makes them tougher and it makes them more persistent. I like that. I like that a lot. And it also talks about being socially optimistic. And I like this idea. Expecting people to like you. If you go in with that attitude, with that frame of mind, people, you automatically are going to do things and behave in ways that causes people to like you or to, take interest in you. If you have that, you know, that way of looking at everything. And I thought, oh, I like that. Another thing that it talked about was expecting to have a positive outcome if you have to negotiate anything. And people that go into it with that mindset of just expecting that they're going to have a positive outcome, they are much more likely to get what they want and actually be happy with it. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea too. Um, it also showed, it talked about in research, it looked like from what they could find, that thinking positive um, created more, actually, when you're more positive, you create more opportunities for yourself as well. Um, let's see, and there was one more point I wanted to, maybe there wasn't. Oh wait, that's on another one later on. Sorry. Anyway, I just thought that was a little, I don't know, maybe that's a little more helpful than just saying be positive. I mean, just, if you can remember, to be grateful while you're trying to be positive, that's going to help right there. And remember that being optimistic is going to give you better health, it's going to give you longer life, and it's going to make you tougher and more persistent. You need all these things, but I think that part of being socially optimistic, I think that's important. If you go into a situation expecting people to like you, I think that's a good key right there. And as you'll see, as I continue through, as I move through the 10 things that are in this article in the Time magazine, you'll see how important it is. The social part is really, really important. But let's see, let me jump back to the first article. Okay, anyway, really important, like I said, you need to be realistic about the world that you're in, but you need to be confident in your abilities. So, I think that's a good balance right there. What you're capable of, and you know what you can do, but you also, see the world as it really is and know what things you can do and what things you need to let go. I think that's a good balance right there. The second thing that it talks about as far as being emotionally resilient. Second thing is face your fears. I like this one. This is something I had to kind of learn the hard way. But according to neuroscience, and I've heard Andrew Huberman actually talk about this one. Because he is a neuroscientist, and I really like his stuff. But there's really only one way to face to deal with fear, and that's it. You have to face it, and you have to face it head on, and that's what resilient people do. When you avoid something, you actually become more scared of it. Because you're building up, you're giving yourself all of this negative commentary, and it's just making, it just adds to the negativity. It makes you more afraid of something if you keep avoiding it. And talks about how, when you face your fears, all of that really does become less frightening. Now, if you have been through something that's been really difficult, really, really hard, sometimes you need to be a little desensitized to that first. But again, that's the best way to do it, though, is to just face it. Quit beating around the bush, quit avoiding it. You've got to face it. And in the book, it talks a lot about how to extinguish, if something's bad has happened to you, something traumatic, then you've got this fear that's associated with that memory. And when you think of that memory, it's going to trigger your amygdala. Your amygdala is kind of your emotional center. And if that's triggered, then all of that negativity, all of that fear is going to grow, it's going to increase. And you need to be exposed to it. You need to be exposed to the situation enough that your brain can rewrite things and put a new memory in its place. And it talks in this section of the article, it talks about how special forces soldiers, what are they taught to do when they are in a situation, a terrifying situation, as they often do get placed in. And this is what they are taught, and this is what they begin to think. I'm scared, but I can learn from this. I like that. Or this is a test that's going to make me stronger. That's what they tell themselves. And, there's no shame in being afraid of something. There's no shame in it. Everybody is afraid of things. But, oh, there goes one of my roosters crowing. Anyway, sorry, it's crazy to hear them now that I have my hearing aids fixed and everything, to hear them crowing with my hearing aids, and it's a whole new experience. Sorry. Just makes me laugh. It sounds so much different. Anyway, um, well, see, I was talking about, yes, about being, yeah, no, there's no shame in being afraid, but if you continue to hide from something that you are afraid of, and you keep avoiding it and putting it off, that's where the problem is. To overcome something, you really do just have to face it. Um, Oh wow, it's coming up too. When I was 11 years old, I was in a really bad accident. I'm sure a lot of you have already heard me talk about this before. But I was on a motorcycle, and there was a cornfield in the way, and there was a feed truck using the same road that we used on our farm, and this truck and I kind of met. Yeah, he couldn't see me, I couldn't see him. We met. Somehow I got caught underneath that truck and dragged down this road. It was a bad accident, bad, bad. And I used to have horrible PTSD from it, and I get lots of nightmares and flashbacks, and I'd relive it. And finally, it was driving me crazy. And this, I didn't do this until, good grief, I was like 20, maybe 25 or something. But I got so sick of it. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna quit. I'm going to end this. And I went to the road where it happened, and I stood at about the point on that dirt road where I have memories of trying to stand up, and I have memories of looking back at my house and my grandparents' house. And the whole thing used to really shake me up. But I made myself stand in that spot, and I made myself look off in the distance, just like I had done the day that I was hurt. And I made myself stand in that road and basically just face it. Hey, what are you doing? Go sit down. Excuse me. Go sit down. Come on. Go sit down, please. You stay. Stay there. Come on. Sit down. You good girl. Stay there. Stay. Stay there. Anyway, it helped, guys. It really did. And now it's funny. I forget. It's actually, it must be a cursed day, September 11th, because that was the day I was hurt in 1982. But to this day, I will forget a lot of. If I forget every time of the year that it comes around, I'll start having really strange body memories. Pain in my legs and in my head, and all the different places I was injured, and it will just be really weird. And I'm starting to realize now, okay, this is coming. And like I was just thinking, it's coming up now, so I know to expect it. And what I do now is I just go to that road and I run down it. Since I'm gotta get a run in anyway. But that's kind of my way of facing my fears and showing my brain who's boss here. You know, maybe that sounds silly, but it worked. It worked for me. It wasn't easy to do. but it helped. It ended a lot of the nightmares and the bad dreams, things that I was having, the flashbacks. It ended a lot of it. Um, Maybe I'll tell you the rest of the story someday, how I ended up beating the rest of it, but it did help. Let's see. Anyway, there was a special forces instructor that they reference in this article. Hey, 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 sit down. Sit down. His name's Mark Hickey. And he said, this is what he says. He believes that fear is good because it keeps him on his toes and serves as a platform for developing courage, self-esteem, and a sense of mastery. And let's see, it says when Hickey experiences fear, he often thinks, I'm scared, but I'm going to learn from this. Oh, that's the same thing I already read to you. Yeah, this is a test that's going to make me stronger. But that's what they're taught, and I really like that. I think that can do us a lot of good, you know. So think positive and face your fears. You know, the third thing that the guy that wrote this article felt was really important that he found in resilient people was the third thing was they have a moral compass. And he talks about how the people the two men that wrote that book, they studied all of the people, the resilient people that they studied, they all had a really good sense of right and wrong. And even though they were in situations where their lives were threatened, they always thought of other people, not just themselves. I like that. I like that a lot. And I want to read you just a little excerpt from the book. And it said, in our interviews, we found that many resilient individuals possessed a keen sense of right and wrong that strengthened them during periods of extreme stress and afterward as they adjusted to life following trauma. Also, altruism, selflessness, concern for the welfare of others, and not giving to others with, okay, hang on, concern for the welfare of others and giving to others with no expectation of benefit to the self often stood as a pillar of their value system, of their moral compass. I like that. I like that part. That's, giving to others with no expectation of benefit to the self. That's a good moral compass in my book. Anyway, they mentioned something here that there's something called a giraffe project that I don't know if it's still going. I didn't have time to pull this up and look at it, but it's supposed to something that it's supposed to be teaching kids how to develop values and basically stick out your neck and do the right thing. It's the Giraffe Project. What are you doing, young lady? Hey, hey, no, 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 you didn't get permission. Excuse me, guys. You did not get permission. Come back here. Come on, come on, come on. You didn't get permission. You didn't. Sit down. Sit down. Sit. Good girl. Now you stay there. You stay there. Stay. Oh, I hate training puppies, guys. This is not my thing. She is a good girl, though. She is the. Hey, 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 hey. Nope, 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 nope. You'll go back in your crate if you're not going to behave. Sit down. Sit. Stay there. Stay there. Stay. Stay there. She is a chill puppy for a puppy. Have to admit that. Anyway, this is not my thing. I like chickens and trained dogs. I love animals when they're trained. Anyway, let's see. So, let's see. Where was I? Okay, they were talking about also, as I was reading through this article again, the men who wrote that book, they were talking about how in a lot of their interviews, the individuals that they met and they talked to, that that were really resilient, they said that they all had a really keen sense of right and wrong, and that's what gave them strength during the times when they were, really, really tested. And that's what really helped them. I really like that. I like that idea. Um, so, basically morals strengthen our resolve in tough times is what he found. So, where do we get those though? Where do we get these morals? So the fourth one, this just moves right into it, is to practice spirituality. And this was interesting. So the number one thing that one of the researchers found when they were studying people who overcame tragedy was that they practiced some form of spirituality. Um, let's see. It says there was a Dr. Ahmad that they refer to in the book quite often too, and he found that religious belief among survivors, that he felt that was the single most powerful force in explaining the tragedy and explaining the survival. And I thought about that, and I thought, that's I totally understand that one, very much so. But what if you're not a religious person? That it's not a problem. You can still do this. A lot of the strength that people that are religious, a lot of the strength that they get is from the group, the group that they worship with. They're part of a community. They're part of something bigger, and you don't have to. You don't have to do anything that you don't believe in, but you do want to be a part of a group that really strengthens your resolve. I don't know. I really like this one. Um, and just let me read you just a little excerpt from the book. It said, the relationship between resilience and religion may partly be explained by the social quality of religious attendance. Get this, the word religion comes from the Latin religare, which means to bind. I like that, because I think of, the church that I belong to, that I'm very active in. That's a great description of the people. We are bound together in our hearts. We really are. It does give you a purpose. Um, but anyway, it says here, people who regularly attend religious services haven't have access to a deeper and broader form of social support than is often available in a secular setting. And I just from personal experience, I completely agree with that. But let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to say about this one? Okay, so what the point there, I think they were trying to dig at was, being part of a group with beliefs is really important. Okay, but what if you're not part of a group? Where did she go? Excuse me, guys. Hey, hey, what are you doing back there? Come here. Hey, stop that. What are you doing? Sit down. Sit. I know. Sit. You stay there. I am sorry, guys. This is not, I did not want this. Okay. All right, young lady, come here. I don't want her chewing on my cords and things. That's why I don't want her at my feet. I did not agree to this. I'm sorry, guys. This is very distracting. Okay. Anyway, we were talking about being a part of a group with beliefs is important, but what if you aren't? Well, the fifth point here is to get social support. Excuse me. Hang on a second here. I just look. Is she not? Look at this. Isn't she cute? She, she is a sweetie. Oh, she needs a bath. I need a bath now. Woo! That's not nice, but she's a cutie. She is a cute little thing. Anyway, I just thought I better check. Will said you have been. I'm going to take a break here for a second. You stayed away from alcohol for 4 months now. Got other bad habits to deal with nicotine. Ah, that's not a fun one either. That's a difficult one because that one gets into your system just like that. Man, I'm sorry you're dealing with that. That's not easy. Let's see. She has bones and toys, Miss V. They're in a crate. I haven't. Uh, my husband better be home soon to take care of this puppy. This is not my thing. Anyway, let me jump back to where I need to be here. Okay. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to sit here because I'm afraid if I let her sit at my feet, she's gonna start chewing on my cords. All right. So get social support. That's the fifth one. Even if you're not part of, a religion or a community, it's really important to have friends and loved ones. Especially when life gets hard. We really do need that. And I was reading about this guy. I can't think of his name right now, but he was a POW in Vietnam, and they kept everybody isolated from one another. Um, they kept all the captives isolated from one another, and in that situation they needed one another desperately to keep hope, to keep alive, to just to keep going. And they developed something called some kind of tapping language almost. That's how they would communicate. They would tap on the cells of the wall. I think I called it tap code or something, if I remember right. But that was what they ended up doing, and it got them through. The guy that I had read about, I think he was in North Vietnam for like 8 years. He was in a couple of different prisons. You're gonna have to sit still. No, you're gonna have to sit here. You can complain all you want. Let's see, where was. Oh, okay. Here's what I wanted to talk about, though. But we need connection. Now, listen to this, guys. Our brains need social support to function optimally. We need it. Connection, which is we always talk about, is the opposite of addiction. Connection with others releases oxytocin, and that calms your mind and that reduces stress. You need some oxytocin right now. Yes. Yes, you're going to have to sit here because I don't trust you anywhere else. Anyway, oxytocin's actions, I'm reading from this book right now. It says oxytocin's actions in reducing. Sit down and be quiet. Sit. You sit. You sit right there. Sit. Stay there. Stay there. Anyway, so much for oxytocin. Okay, oxytocin's actions in reducing amygdala activation. Now, your amygdala is, the emotional center of your brain. Oxytocin's actions in reducing amygdala activation and arousal may help to explain why positive support from others can reduce stress. Hey, where are you going? Sit. You stay right there. Oh, you guys, it's driving me nuts. All right. Okay. Anyway, the solution here isn't just receiving help from other people, but it's giving help. That is just as important. That's what we need when we have connection. We're not just getting. We're not just receiving. We are giving as well. So important. And there, let's see, Dale Carnegie, there's a quote here by him. And he says, "You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you." I thought, yeah, that's true. But we can't always be surrounded by other people. So how can people we love and respect help us thrive even when we're alone? And a lot of us had to experience that when 2020 hit us. Young lady, sit still. Hey, you know what? You could have stayed over there. You're going to have to sit right there. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, so I was talking about how you need to have, how can you get that connection and that support from people that you love if you are alone? The key here, the sixth one, is you need to have resilient role models. When you study kids who grow up in really impoverished circumstances, but they go on to live really healthy, productive lives, what do you find? Well, you find that they had a really good role model. Somebody that was a really positive example. Maybe it was somebody that really supported them. But there is one of the first psychologists that studied resilience was a lady named Amy Warner. And she followed the lives of children who were raised in impoverished homes with alcoholic, abusive, or mentally ill parents. And she observed that the resilient children, the ones that grew up to be productive, were emotionally healthy, they had at least one person in their life that truly, truly supported them. And they served as a role model for these kids. And excuse me, guys. I think she needs to go out for a minute. I apologize, guys. This is not my choice. Ugh. Come on. Oh, 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 oh. My finger cut. Hang on, guys. Oh, you're coming in, huh? Go on. You are a naughty girl. I'm trying to do a show, and you're being a stinker. Can you please go potty? Please? Okay. We're not. Okay, you're going to have to sit down here. I'm going to tie you to the door if I have to. Come on. Okay. How am I supposed to do this with you being a stinker, huh? Okay, you're going to have to stay right there. I'm sorry, you're going to have to stay there till I'm done. Sorry, guys. It's driving me nuts. I put her in a crate and she cries and cries and cries, and that drives me crazier than anything else. Anyway, okay. Hey, 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 hey. I just gotta breathe. Okay. Let's see. It says, okay, back to the role model thing. It says sometimes it's hard to find people that we know we want to be like, and it said that's okay. They found that sometimes it's okay to have bad role models because then you have an example of what not to do. And I thought, that's actually, growing up, I remember thinking the whole time, when I'm a mother, I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do this. Honestly, that's what I told myself. And those of you who have seen my daughters come on with me, I think I managed that okay. I think things turned out all right that way for having a bad role model for mother, and she honestly she did the best she could, but that did work for me. Um, let's see. Anyway, psychology, is great for resilience, but it isn't all in the mind. So the seventh thing, guess what this one is? I'm sure you guys know this one. It's coming. You need to maintain your physical fitness. Excuse me, man. I don't know what she's doing in my closet. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? How did you manage that? Oh, you're gonna have to just sit down. Please sit down. Oh, guys, you don't want to see the inside of that closet now. Breathe. Take her outside. Yeah, what for? And she just does it here. Okay. Where was I? Physical fitness. Yes. Okay. Again, the gentleman, Southwick and Charney, that wrote that book about resilience, what they saw with the most resilient people is that the other thing, they had good exercise habits and they took good care of their bodies. They kept their bodies strong, just like they kept their minds strong. And they said here, many of the resilient individuals we interviewed had a regular habit of exercise and believe that staying fit has helped them both during their traumatic ordeals and during their recovery. In fact, some of them credit physical exercise with saving their lives. I have, I had to, I kind of really had no choice. I had to start exercising just to battle the physical pain that I deal with. And you do become tougher physically, yes, but you become tougher up here as well. And there's something about doing a Spartan race, and I can't, any of you that are listening, if you look, you've got almost a whole year to train. Join our team and come do one and find out what the big deal is, because there really is something about the first time you finish a Spartan race, you accomplish something. Because that takes physical toughness, but it takes mental toughness too. It's just as much here because your body's going to give out. It's going to get tired. And the only thing that keeps those two legs moving and keeps you moving over the obstacles and everything is this up here in the end. That's what keeps you going. And when you get to the end, you cross that finish line, you can tackle anything. I'm not kidding. There was such a huge difference for me in the way I took on life after I started doing Spartan races. There's something to this. I experienced it for myself, and it helps you. And if someone says that, they can credit physical fitness for saving their lives, I can completely understand that. Honestly, I can see that. And I've done whole shows on, just what being physically fit, all of the things that it can do for you, all the benefits, but it can really, really help. Um, and the nice thing about something, some kind of vigorous aerobic type of activity is that if you are really prone to anxiety, this is going to help that. This is going to really get those symptoms down. There's something about, getting that heart rate up, your rapid breathing, your sweating. I mean, there's so many. Oh, it's good. Your lungs are, when you are, breathing in and out very heavily, during a run or something, you are expelling a lot of the toxins just in your breath, along with the sweating. You're getting rid of toxins, you're getting rid of anxiety, you're putting your energy into something. I don't know. I don't, you just have to try it out for yourself. I swear by it though. It helps. It can do so much to boost your mental health, not just your physical health. It really it helps. I can swear by it. So, you know, getting your body into shape isn't everything though. The eighth one, you need to keep your brain strong. Um, I'm not talking about the little game that you have with your phone, you know. That's not what I'm talking about at all. People that are resilient are lifelong learners. They always keep their mind great. They always keep their mind engaged with something. They're always learning something new, or they're adapting to new information in the world. That there's It's just something that resilient people do. They are lifelong learners. They're always seeking out new opportunities to keep themselves mentally fit. They really do. And there are a lot of positive health benefits, both physical and mental health benefits to this. But there is a lot to be said about being a lifelong learner. And a lot of times, you can learn things that can help you, to get through a really tough situation. Um, the, Boy, I'm not even. I could really go off on a tangent on this one, but I probably better not. But it's really important, not to just, keep your body physically fit and keep your brain physically fit, and stay positive. All of this stuff, this is always good, but you need to be, the ninth one is to be cognitively flexible. Okay, that, um, every one of us, we have to cope with difficulty in our lives. It's just part of life. The thing that sets people that are resilient, what that sets them apart from other people, is the way that they deal with their stressful situations. Um, and I want to read you a little excerpt here. It says, people who are resilient tend to be flexible in the way they think about challenges, and flexible in the way they react emotionally to stress. They are not wedded to a specific style of coping. Instead, they shift from one coping strategy to another depending on the circumstances. And I want to jump back just for a second, about keeping your brain fit and being a lifelong learner. This is something you can actually work on. You can learn new coping strategies, and it's really, really important as you come out of active addiction and you're looking to become sober. Tommy talks all the time about having that tool bag, where when you get into a sticky situation and you're struggling, and you might be, starting to have cravings again or something, you've got to have all of these different tools in your little tool bag that you can pull out and use, things that are going to help keep you sober. These are things you can learn. And then, jumping from one thing to another, and not just using one specific coping method in every situation. If you've got a lot of different ones, boy, you're going to be so much better off. And so I think that one is really, really important. Um, and it said, it's talking about here about elite military operators when it comes to this one. And it said, what's a good coping style that definitely works? And it says, I've spoken to a number of elite military operators, and I've heard the same thing over and over. Be tough? Nope. Ignore it? Nope. They all mentioned humor. I love that one. They all mention humor. I I have really dark humor, you guys, and it's not pretty sometimes. But I can always count on getting together with my family. Um, my sisters are really good at remembering the lines from every movie they've ever seen. And they will find the perfect moment, the perfect situation. We could be out on a hike or something, and I'll hear one of my sisters pipe up and spurt out some line from a movie that is perfect for the situation, for whatever we're talking about at the time, or whatever situation we're in. And it cracks us all up. And I love getting together with my family because of this too, because I can guarantee every time the whole family gets together, I'm talking about my brother and my sisters and all of the nieces and nephews and everybody, we've all got a really weird sense of humor. And I can guarantee on having a great weekend, spending time with them and going home with my stomach muscles sore because we laugh so much. But yeah, humor oh my goodness, humor can help you out in so many situations. And yeah, I really love this one. But I thought that was really cool that even elite military operators, they depend on humor to get through. And it said there's some stats here that says substantial evidence exists for the effectiveness of humor as a coping mechanism. Studies involving combat veterans, and this was, let's see, and that one, the combat veteran study was in 84, and then there was a cancer patient study in 93, and then surgical patients in 2002. And it said that what they found was that humor reduced the threatening nature of all of these different types of stressful situations. And it's definitely associated with resilience and the capacity to tolerate stress. I love that. Humor can always help. Anyway, there's one last critical point, and it looks like we just have enough time for this one. The 10th one is to find meaning in what you do. Resilient people don't have jobs. They have callings. I love that. I love that one. They have callings. They have a mission and a purpose in life that gives meaning to the things that they do. And so, even when times are hard, if you've got this greater purpose, it gives you a reason to keep pushing forward, honestly. And boy, there's so many things I could say about this one, and I don't know which way I want to go. I'll just leave it with, that's what, coming on here and talking to you guys, honestly, I don't think of this as a job. I'm definitely not making any money at all. In fact, I quit my job to be able to do this. And, but I feel like just like I read, it's a calling for me. This isn't a job. This isn't just, I mean, there's a reason that I do this. And I feel like everything bad, everything difficult that I have gone through in my life and everything I've been able to overcome has prepared me for this point. So now I can try to come on and share things with you and try to, and try to be of some help. But I really do. I feel like it's a calling. Just, I don't know how else to describe it. And it does give me the push to keep doing this and to keep coming up with something to talk about every time I come on, and I love it. I really do. But there is something, that it's really important to have meaning, find meaning. If there's something that you're doing, really ask yourself, why am I really doing this? Does this really mean something to me? People that find meaning and they have a purpose behind what they're doing are so much more effective than somebody who's just placed there and put in that job. There's a definite difference there. It really does help keep you moving forward. So just to sum up, let me go through these really quickly again. The first point was basically to foster optimism. Don't be in denial about the world. Remember that I was talking about that balance. Don't be in denial about things. Look at your situation and look at what things you can control and which ones you can't. Focus on the things that you can control and be optimistic about it. The second point was, facing your fears. Hiding from something you are afraid of and not, just facing it makes it so much more scary. Face it, overcome it. Even if it takes some speak this morning, desensitization. Ow. but face it and overcome it. The third one is having a moral compass. And if you have strong feelings about what is right and what is wrong, that's gonna help. That's gonna help move you forward, especially if it's something really gritty that you've really got to dig down deep to do. Um, the next one was to practice spirituality. Um, and it's really important to be part of a group that has some type of strong beliefs, whether it's religious or not. It's important to be a part of that group. Um, the next point was to give and receive social support. That's a really important one too. The next one was to imitate resilient role models. Um, the next one, physical fitness. You got to keep that body strong. That's an important one, and it fosters. I just from personal experience, physical fitness fosters mental toughness too. It really does. If you can push yourself, yeah. It's this organ up here that does the pushing. So anyway, being a lifelong learner, that was the next one. And then let's see, the ninth one was having a number of different ways to cope. Not just using one coping mechanism for every situation. Remember that tool bag we talked about. You need to have that full of different tools, full of different ways that you can cope. And anyway, the 10th one, the last one, again, was having meaning in your life. That's a really important one, and that one really can and do some serious pushing when you need it. I really like that one. Anyway, I am out of time. Wow. Anyway, I apologize for the dog thing. This is not, I didn't agree to this. It just happened. Anyway, let me see who else popped in. Linda Ford. Hello. And Kathy came in. Nice. Will, Scooby, good to see you. There's Anne and Seagull Rock Squat. Goddess Divine. Let's see. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I think I already said hello. Oh, no, I was Miss James. There he is. James Novak. Glad you came in. Let's see. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. And I have to say, it's nice to be back. I missed you guys. I did not watch, I think I watched maybe 2 of all of the the lifeboats while I took my break, but I did need it. My health was kind of going down the toilet. But it is nice to be back. Missed you guys, and I love doing this. But anyway, hope you guys have a great day. I will talk to you again very soon. See ya.